like Roosevelt, please stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lunch today's teriyaki dippers. Happy birthday this week to Justin Blue Eyes, Devin Holbreak Marconi, Shaka Costin, Kamayakin Moran, Piper Schmidt, and Mr. Pruitt. Please stop by the office and pick up your birthday bracelet. Congratulations to FBLA for placing in state. Anna Arbogast, first place Spellet, fourth place Creed, sixth place Elevator Pitch. Taylor Holman, ninth place Jingle. Gavin White, first place Digital Gaming Theory Team, sixth place Creed. Joey Tynan, first place Digital Gaming Theory, fifth place Creed. Shoei Hunt, first place Digital Gaming Theory, first place Spellet. Caitlin Nordine, first place Spellet, sixth place Jingle. Seniors, please stop by the office and let Mrs. Arnold know if you're who you're going to walk with at graduation.
Try and answer.
Reminders, seniors, your conferences are not optional and you must meet with Mr. Utz. Your parents are not required to be there, so please see Mr. Utz for your scheduled appointment. Thank you. There's a girls' basketball sign-up on the office counter. Please sign up if you're planning until next year. There will also be a senior high girls' basketball meeting on Wednesday, April 17th at 6 p.m. in the Raider Hub for grades 7th through 11th graders. Prom tickets are on sale. $20 for a single and $35 for a couple. Limited supply, so get yours now. Graduation caps can be signed out from Mrs. Darnold for beating. Bus duty this week is Mr. Files, Mr. Abbott, and Mrs. Pace.
You want to make sure you have a calculator.
Tuesday, April 16th. Golf to Bear Creek Golf Course in Winthrop at 2:30 p.m. Wesley Scrabble parking lot at 11:45 p.m. Softball versus Pateros away at 4:30 p.m. Wesley Scrabble parking lot at 1 p.m. Baseball versus Pateros home at 4:30 p.m. Tennis versus Iniat home at 4 p.m. High school track at Davenport, fields at 3:30 p.m. and track at 4 p.m. Wesley Eller bus lane at 12:30 p.m. and middle school track shed at 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 17th, noon release. Conferences are from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Golf to Gamble Sands course in Brewster at 11 a.m. Wesley Scrabble parking lot at 8:45 a.m. Junior high track to Bridgeport at 4 p.m. Wesley Scrabble parking lot at 2 p.m. Thursday, April 18th, noon release. Conferences are from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tennis versus Orville away at 4 p.m. Wesley Scrabble parking lot at 1 p.m. Friday, April 19th, noon release. Saturday, April 20th, baseball versus Tenasket away, doubleheader at 11 a.m. Softball versus Tenasket away, doubleheader at 11 a.m. Wesley Scrabble parking lot at 8 a.m. High school track at Quincy Field at 10:30 a.m. and track at 11:30 a.m. Wesley's middle school track shed at 7:30 a.m. Go Raiders!
How do you put a sub-zero?
You don't. What does sub-zero mean?
The start.
It means the start, yep.
Bracket?
try calc.
You say second calc?
Yeah,
How did you
second,
do that?
what? I went to the second, line of this, I went to Zoom and I went to Zoom Fit. Just click it. Yeah.
All right, so how do you do this?
Oh, I got it. There's no standard. Oh,
All right, so we have y equals, right? What did we type in?
Y equals, negative 4.9 at t squared,
Negative 4.9
x
x
squared,
squared. Why x squared? Why not t squared?
because there is
Because there is no t, because time is always
x.
x, right? So we put x here, negative 4.9 x squared. And then what do?
But plus 25
Plus 25
x
x, good, because time is x,
plus 3.
plus 3.
That's it.
And then what do?
Graph.
We can go graph. But I have an error here, probably because I need to change my minus to a negative, right?
Put a minus instead of a negative.
You should put a minus instead of a negative. Zoom, and we'll click
Zoom.
standard. See what happens there.
Okay.
And then that's off, right?
What, is it really?
In terms of, I want to find the highest. Can I find the highest there?
No.
No. So I need to zoom again, and let's try z squared. And that still doesn't work, right? And let's try zoom fit.
That doesn't work. I tried it and it Zoom, but like.
Yeah, that was good.
That's what I got.
Yeah, because where it opens which way?
What?
Down.
Which way does it open?
Down.
So where's the majority of your stuff going to be?
Maybe.
Below the x, right? So is that where the majority of our arc is?
Yeah.
So then we're going to be here somewhere, right?
Mhm.
So we've zoomed way out towards the bottom, which means this is going to be something like, let's say 1,000, negative 1,000, right? So if this is 10 and this is 1,000, then that graph makes sense. So how do we find the highest point? What's that?
I don't remember.
How do we do that? Kylie?
What?
How do we find the highest point?
You go all the way up.
You go second,
Calc.
calc. And what are we finding, a maximum or a minimum?
Maximum.
So we hit maximum, and we need to be on the left bound. So we zoom it over, I'm blinking right here. This is my highest point, am I to the left of my highest point?
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Push enter.
Hit enter.
Yeah.
And then what?
Go to the right bound.
Go to the right. Am I to the right of the highest point?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm over here, and my highest point is here, right? So I just go anywhere on the right, I hit enter, and then I move somewhere close to the middle, and I hit enter.
2.
What did you find for your maximum?
2.5 and 34.8.
2.5 for the x, and 34.8 for the, so 2.5 and 34.9.
Yeah.
So that should be 2.6, right? So what does that mean? James, what's the 2.5 mean? Or 2.6, I mean? What does that mean? When I look over here on my coordinate point, what's this mean?
It's X.
It's x, and x means what in this problem? Time, yeah. So it tells you at what?
How long it took to get a certain distance.
How long it took to get to the highest point, how long did it take?
2.6, 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Okay, that's a good guess. How do you know it's minutes and seconds?
I don't, never said that.
Okay.
I'm just assuming.
It's 2.6.
Because t, unless otherwise specified, is time, but it's going to be time in seconds, because gravity, what's the acceleration due to gravity, do we know? 9.8 meters per second squared. 9.8 meters per second squared. And what about feet per second squared? You did learn this
Yeah,
because
I
it
remember.
is
There.
already something that you know in your mind when it comes to water and coldness.
Temperature.
38, 35.
What?
30 something.
What temperature does water freeze?
35? 38? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
32 degrees. 32.2 feet per second squared. All right, so what's our unit on the bottom?
Squared. Or seconds.
Seconds. So what does t have to be?
Seconds.
Seconds. So what is x,
Seconds.
James?
Seconds.
2.6 seconds, right? All right, Kylie, what does y tell us?
It says a potato is fired from the spoken at a height of 3 meters and the initial velocity of 25 meters per second. Write a function to describe the height of this potato projectile. What's the maximum height of this potato and what time is this potato?
So what does this tell us? 34.9.
What time it occurs?
Oh,
The
how
height.
can time be time when 2.6 is time?
It's the height.
Is the height, what kind of height, Kylie? This is time, and this is height. This was in seconds, and this is in,
Meters.
how do you know that?
Because it says the velocity.
Yeah, velocity is meters per second, that's speed, right? But this is
Oh,
height.
okay. Oh. This is the height of
Yeah, the height is 3 meters.
the,
Height is just meters, velocity is meters per second, like miles per hour is speed. So this is your speed, this is your height. So this is in meters, right? Which is the reason why I put down the m here. Right? So it is in meters, not in feet, right? So this equation is for meters. There's also an equation that has to do with feet. Do you know what that is? It's the exact same except for the gravity part is pulling down at what? No, that's velocity is going up, right? But I'm looking at this equation right here. Everything is the exact same except for the gravity part. Which one's the gravity part?
Negative 4.9.
Yeah, negative 4.9 is the gravity. So for feet, it's the exact same, only the gravity part is now going to be, no,
Negative.
still negative because gravity is always pulling down. Negative what?
Wait.
What's the acceleration due to gravity for meters?
9.8 meters per second.
9.8. So this is essentially 10, and this is essentially 5. How did we go from 10 to 5? One of them.
Take us correctly.
What do we do? How do you go from 10 to 5? Subtract, or divide by 2. What do I do with this 32?
Divide divided it.
by, what do we do to the 10?
Oh, by 5.
What do we do to the 10?
We'll divide by
Divided by 2. What's 32 divided by 2?
Thirty.
What's 15 divided by 2? I mean, what's 30 divided by 2?
15.
15. So what's 32 divided by 2?
16.
16. So this is negative 16, right? Do you remember that
Yeah.
when we were doing the one that had negative 16? That's where it's coming from. All right, let's take a look at problem 4 in in task 6. Problem 4 in task 6.
No. Revival of angry roots.
I would have nursed to get my.
Yeah.
Task 6. Question.
Let's go to task 3, I mean, not task. We're gonna do, we just did question 2 on task 6. So we're on task 6, but we're doing question 3 instead of 4. Right, not the Angry Birds one, the one right before that. 2 competing catapults launch pumpkins.
Uh, 339.
8:39.
James just wants to be out of school already. That's what you call a Freudian slip. You guys ever hear of those?
Maybe.
Freud was like a psychologist, and he was saying that sometimes when you say things, your mind may have been unconsciously or consciously thinking of something.
Bullwinkle is, and the other squirrel. Squirrel.
Wait, what? Squirrel?
Bullwinkle, and he's a moose.
Oh yeah, you were just thinking of squirrel, so.
Yeah, I thought his like sidekick was a moose. Or
His sidekick was a moose? I thought he was a moose.
shut up, James. You know what I mean.
Really, when we're using the 9 point or what?
Is it launching in feet or meters? Feet.
Height and feet.
So which one are we gonna use?
32.
32, which means, what's our equation gonna be?
Negative 32.2.
Negative 16
Oh, yeah.
t squared, right? Plus v sub 0 t plus h sub 0. So you wanna write that down. H sub t, h of t equals negative 16 t squared. Right, it's right on page 11. It's right there on, when you go to question 1, it gives it to you. So you want to write that down on question 3 so you can answer it. And you're going to use your calculator, and you're going to put both of them into your calculator, and you're going to want to graph them, and you're going to want to use the tools that you've used so far, which is your calc buttons, right? Second trace to get your calc.
Person. Okay, I'm doing this wrong, or goes to effect. Is it real quick?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I put something wrong somewhere. It doesn't work. Oh, duh.
That's your first one. What's your second one? What's wrong? So
You have?
this is X's amount of
Feet.
When's the last time
Like,
you did it?
ah.
35?
English,
this is height, this is time. So which one was longer?
That was 30.
feet.
Feet.
Okay. I'm not gonna mess with it. Here's the-
73 is the what?
Prom.
Sure, sure.
Alright, so what is our equation for this?
Negative 16 G or X
Negative 16x
squared
squared
plus
plus 35
40.
plus 45.
Yeah.
Wait, what were you doing, A or B?
A.
Negative plus 45x
Yeah. Plus 10.
plus 10. Alright, what's the second one?
Negative 16 T squared. Plus 40T plus 25.
Alright, so like that. So we have everything the same except for the 45 and 40. What's the difference there? What's 45 and 40 stand for?
Velocity.
The initial velocity. What's the 10 and the 25 start?
Height. Increase.
Starting height, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so then I'm going to go zoom and I'm going to try zoom fit. You're going to want to pay attention, ladies.
Okay.
Alright, so I've done zoom fit right here, right?
Yeah.
But I don't care about anything down here
No.
because that's all negative height. Do I care about negative height?
No.
Do I care about anything over here in terms of negative time? No. All I care about is quadrant 1, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a look and see here. If I go zoom, if I go down to quadrant 1 and I hit enter, let's see what that gives me. So I've got this right here, right? So this is 10 and this is 10. So 10 is fine here, but what do I need to adjust? Taylor? 10 is fine here, but what do I need to adjust? The height. Pick a height. What's the starting height on one of them?
10.
10 and 25. So I need at least 25, right? Is it going to go higher than 25? What are you doing? You're launching a
Yeah.
catapult. So what's it going to do once it leaves the catapult?
Go up.
It's going to go up. So do I need higher than 25?
Yeah.
Yes.
Feel like
So let's try, okay, 40. How do I change my window size? Taylor, you're going to want to stop graphing and graph on your calculator first. How do we change the window size? Go to window. What am I changing?
Then maximum.
Maximum. Alright, we said 10 was fine for my maximum. On the X, what do we want for our Y maximum? What did you pick, ladies? We know we need at least 25.
Oh, it's 50.
Alright, let's try 50. And then we hit enter and go to graph. Alright, so I've got it right here. But can I tell the difference right here? What's going on? Or should I zoom in more to be able to see what's going on there? So instead of changing my X to 10, what am I going to want it to be? What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
So let's try 4 and see. So what's my window size gonna be? What am I gonna change it to?
So wait,
Four.
hold on.
4.
On that, you start with minimum. Mine starts with shade res.
Okay, well that's okay.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's just, how much shade are you gonna have? That's fine.
So what's the rest of this?
X minimum, X maximum, scale. Like in between each step is gonna be how much Y minimum, Y maximum. Y minimum is gonna be what? 0. And what's our Y max? 25 is where we start, and then it's gonna do what? Go up. So what are we gonna, how much up do we wanna go? What do we pick? 50, so try 50.
And then graph.
Mhm. All right. Were we able to tell where the difference is where they hit?
No.
All right, let's try window, and let's try 3.5. Let's see if that helps. And go to graph. So, that doesn't help much, does it?
No.
So what do we do? How do we find out which one traveled longer? There's another way. We use our calculator's ability, which means we are going to hit what?
Hit what?
Yeah, what are we going to hit on our calculator to be able to find out where this point is?
Trace.
Trace, but not trace. Trace just allows us to trace it. We want to actually zoom into it using what? Second
Second.
calc. And we're going to find what? The point at which it's on the x-axis. What is that called? Intersect is where the two graphs intersect each other. We want to find the point where it's on the x-axis. What is it called when it's on the x-axis? When the arc is on the x-axis, what's it called? Minimum is
The value.
the lowest point. Is that point the lowest point? No, because it opens down, so it goes on what? Forever down. We could find a maximum, right? Because that's that transition point from when it's going up to when it starts to go down. That's our maximum. There is no minimum on this. What is it when the arc hits the x-axis? What's that called?
The value. Whose name is that box now?
When we have it like this, what do we say these were?
Points.
Roots.
Oh,
Right?
the-
That is always when y is, what value of y is that? Y is 0, right? Y is 0. So what is this called?
Roots.
Call it root.
Root point.
Y is always
Zero.
0, so what are we finding?
That's zero.
A 0. We're finding a 0. So, I want to go to my left bound. Am I to the left of my 0?
Yeah.
So what do? Press enter. Then I move to the right, I hit the right, I don't hit up or down, I move to the right, and I've got to get past my 0, so I want to go to y when y is negative. Is y negative for me? I got y equals negative 5.7. Is y negative?
I got negative.
It doesn't matter. You just go till it gets to negative. Have you gone till it went to negative?
Yeah.
So now you've gone to the right of it, so what do? Hit enter. And then press enter again. So what is my 0?
3.
3,
Point.
0. This was 3 point,
0, 1.
3.0198 something, right?
Not 9.4.
94, okay. So 3.019. Okay? So now we do it for the other one. So what we say second,
It's negative 3.01.
right here. We go to y, we go to second calc, right? Go to 0, hit enter. And this says y equals 1. How do I change it to y equal 2? I hit the up arrow or the down arrow. If I hit down, did I just change to my other equation?
Yeah.
So now I do the same thing, left bound. Right? So I need to go to the left until I'm to the left of the 0. Am I to the left of the 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm blinking where I can see, right? And then what do I need to do? Go to the right until I get to y equal negative. I hit enter, then I hit enter again. What did it come out to be?
3.017.
So this one was y2 was 3.017,
767.
right? So which one was in the air longer?
First one, A.
The first one. Why was it in the air longer, James?
It was launched, it was launched at a higher height.
No, because when it hit the ground, this one was 3.017 seconds, and this was 3.019 seconds, right? Is there really a difference there?
Not really.
Not really, right? If we were to watch with our human eyes, we wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. They would have hit the same, right?
Yep.
If we had watched with our human eyes, would we have been able to get that resolution in terms of know that one hit at 0.002 seconds later? No. So we will say then for this answer that they were both in the air for the same amount of time. Because we can't get to that resolution if we're watching. We would have to have some sort of the slow-mo guy's calculator or something. Is it possible from this scenario to determine the distance traveled horizontally by each pumpkin? Explain your choices and justify your answer. The equations that we give you, do they tell you distance traveled?
No.
Why not?
I don't want you to figure it out.
What do we have in this equation right here?
Negative velocity and height.
We have velocity and height, right? Are either one of those distance traveled? No. What else do we have in there?
The time.
The time. Is that distance traveled?
No.
No.
Negative 4.9 is.
What's that?
Negative 4.9
-4.9 is
is gravity.
gravity, which is acceleration pulling you down. No. None of these are distance, because this is height. We have to use a different equation to do it. But is there an equation that will tell you this? Do we have the equation? No. But is there an equation?
Problem.
Yes.
Remember that thing? It's like D equals M over V. Remember that? It's in biology.
I mean, in calculus, we would just take the integral of this, and that would tell us. But in physics, they just give you the equation. So, do we have the equation? No. But would we be able to do it? Yeah, but do we have the information, do we have the ability to do it?
No.
No, because we don't have the equation, right? So you would say, I would need to know the equation, I would need to know the distance formula to be able to calculate it. In this problem, they haven't given us any of that information, so we'd say no. But I feel like what's that?
I'm trying to figure out how we're walking with the resolution. How are you walking with the resolution?
All right.
I have no idea.
There was another question in there. What was the other question?
This one was my skip.
The very first question was which pumpkin, A or B, achieves a
Greater maximum height.
greater maximum height? How do we find that?
You go to your graph and
Go to your graph and do what?
second calc,
Second calc,
go to maximum.
go to maximum.
Left bound is 0.
All right, so left bound needs to be what? To the left of the what?
0.
No, to the left of the, what are we finding?
Maximum.
Maximum, which means it's what?
Oh, we have to go to the left of the maximum height.
Go to the left of the maximum height. Here's the maximum, so how do I go to the left? Hit left until I get to here. Am I to the left of the maximum?
0.
So then what do I do?
Go to,
Hit enter. Then what do we do, James?
go to,
Then what?
Go right.
Go right until what?
you go to, right on the.
Get to the right of the
Height.
maximum height, and then hit enter, and then hit enter again. What was the maximum height for graph A?
1.4.
1.4 was the
X.
x, and x is a measure of
Time.
time. What's the maximum height?
4.16.
41.6 feet. So what's the maximum height?
41.16.
41.6 feet. What's the maximum height, James? On graph 2.
No.
How do we get to graph 2? We say second calc.
Second calc can go to the left or,
It says left bound, right? We wanted to go to second calc, and then we pick maximum, but I'm on graph 1. How do I change it to graph 2?
hit the up.
Hit the up button or the down button. Now it says y equals 2 or y2.
By 2 equals,
Now, am I to the left of my maximum?
no.
It's hard to say, right? So I just go until I know for sure. I'm gonna go way over, right? I go way past my maximum. So I know I'm way past my maximum on the left, right? I hit enter, and then what do?
Then you get the,
What the hell?
Go way past it on the right-hand side, and hit enter, and then hit enter again. And so what do we get? Y equals
50.
Oh, okay.
50. Happy Monday, guys. You may want to talk with your next class teacher and see if you can just be in here with Trevor. You don't want to just be in here with Trevor? Or you don't want to be in here with me, that's.
Trevor's only kid you have this year?
Yeah.
Not like
Alright, so we know our maximum height for both of them, so which one got higher? Which we already knew from the graph, right? But how much higher? About 9 feet or so. And that was because it was launched with a
Catapult.
higher
Catapult.
launching
Catapult.
height. Right? It started out 15 feet higher. So neither one of those catapults actually won, right? If there was a competition, it would have been so close that they would have needed to try again,
It would have been time.
right?
It was pure luck.
Actually, we don't know how far the distance was, right? We just said that, we didn't know. Because this is not a measure of distance, this is a measure of time. They're both in the air for the same amount of time.
Were you even recording on the camera? Oh,
Yep.
there you are. Never mind.